Welcome to the Raising Confident Girls podcast, your guide to raising strong, confident daughters. I'm Melissa Jones, the founder of Girls Positivity Club and a teacher for over 20 years. In a world where girls often feel overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, this podcast is your go-to space. As caregivers, we navigate challenges together. I founded Girls Positivity Club to provide a place where you belong and get the tools to face today's hurdles. Consider this your regular check-in with a trusted friend, offering insights and practical tips for meaningful conversations. I'm here to help you feel confident on this journey of raising a generation of empowered girls. Let's dive in and raise those confident girls together. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Raising Confident Girls. I'm so happy you're here today. We are, if you're listening in real time, in the summer months, and we have some very special guests this week who are going to share some insight. So last week, if you didn't listen already, you should go back and listen to that episode. We had a girl, Emily Grace, that I've worked with for the last few years, share insight about middle school. And this week, I have two ladies joining us who are volunteers at our Girls Positivity Club summer camps, and they've done an amazing job. And they are going to talk about high school and what to expect, because I know a lot of you, even if you have young girls, you know that time's going to be coming eventually. So I always think whenever I listen to something that doesn't necessarily apply to the exact age, that it's something to look toward and to kind of have in the back of your mind. And so if you have a young girl, this is still going to be really useful. And if you have a girl who's in middle school, this is going to give you insight on what to expect and how to prepare her and how to support her through transitioning from middle school to high school. And so welcome both of you. I'm so happy you're here. Would you both introduce yourselves, please?
My name is Vaishu. I am going to 11th grade. I'm going to be a junior. I enjoy Taekwondo. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. And I'm also an Indian classical dancer.
Amazing.
Hi, I'm Varnika. I'm going to 10th grade, and I'm also an Indian classical dancer, and I also specialize in hip hop, and I love playing volleyball in my free time.
Love that. And they've been incredible volunteers. They have been just jumping in and doing crafts, cleaning, food things, like they've done it all. And we even had a slime day from last week. We're going to have one again this week, which is going
Big.
to be great. So the reason that I wanted to have you both on is obviously to share your insight, because I think that as adults, I know looking back at my high school career, it was very different. I mean, yes, there were certain things, like I was also in dance, I was also in some activities and things, but I think it's important for parents and caregivers of girls to hear it directly from your age of like what to expect and how they can support their girls. So even if you have a niece who's in high school, there are all kinds of people that are part of your life. What would you say? You both have mentioned drama, and I also wanted to kind of touch on social media too and like how that influences you. What would you say is drama in high school? Like what would you say is what would you consider drama in high school that comes up that maybe affects you or affects other high school girls?
I think for me, especially just going to such a large high school, there are so many things that people will say about you behind your back. And before I used to be like, oh, I need everyone to like me. I need everyone to be my friend. I don't want anybody to, talk poorly about me.
Mhm.
But there's always going to be people who are jealous of you or, not even jealous, but like they just want to talk poorly about you. And there's some people who are just used to that, like used to, mocking other people or kind of comparing themselves to them, and they feel better if they talk like badly about you. So I think just knowing that it's okay. Like you don't need everyone to like you. And if conflict occurs and all it I think is important is handling it in a good way. And even if you have made a mistake, just apologize for it. Sometimes I know there have been instances just this past year where I've had to apologize even though I thought it wasn't my fault. I would apologize just to get that conflict almost over with so I can move on
Mhm.
with my life. Because when you think about it in the grand scheme of events, you need to really like think about whether you're gonna spend time with them and you're gonna spend your effort, put your effort on them. And if you're not, then don't waste time and energy thinking about how you should handle this, because if you're not getting any joy from them being in your life, it is fine to not just like, I wouldn't say cut them off, but
Mhm.
it's okay to drift away. Like if they're not treating you the best, or if you find things in them that you don't want to be around, it's okay to move away from that and make connections with people who you actually like.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Mm.
What would yours be, Varka?
Like personally, me, when I get into drama, I usually like catch it right away. If somebody is being mean to me, if somebody talking behind my back, or if somebody's like purposely trying to what do you like exclude you into things, I
Yeah.
catch it immediately and I don't give them my time. I don't like try to like be with them. Like for example, if like somebody was purposely not like inviting me to their events or like to their hangouts and stuff, I
Mhm.
would immediately like drift away from them because they are not worth my time. And if like somebody like I also got a lot of mean comments said to me by like specific people. And honestly, like one thing I realized is I feel like it's a lot about jealousy. I feel like a lot of like people who talk behind your back or anything, there's a reason why they talk behind your back and not in front of your face, is because they're scared and they're jealous. I think it's 100% jealousy, and I think almost any study can tell that it is jealousy. So I think just like not giving them your time and knowing the reason why they're talking behind your back is because they're behind you. Like they're like not on your level.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. I think so too. And it's really easy to get like into the mindset of like you were saying earlier, Vaishu, about like, caring what other people think and trying to figure out, all that. But you're both saying the same thing is like you don't have to give those people your time. And not that you have to have some dramatic like, storm out of the room or like tell them
Yeah.
off or something. But like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you were both saying, like kind of drift in a different direction and just put your energy toward people that are going to make you feel good when you're around them. And I say that sticks with you your entire life. Like, I don't hang around with people who gossip because I don't do that. Like, yes, my mom will talk about her sister to me and things like that, but I'm like, that's my mom and that they just do that. But sorry, mom, if you're listening, but they like do that. But like, other than that, I don't have time for that. And I don't want to spend my energy around people because my mom always told me, like, if someone is talking about other people to you, they're probably talking it
Yeah.
about you too, because they shouldn't be talking like that about anyone. Like, and it's not like, I feel like there's a difference too about like talking badly about someone and then talking about something you're concerned about with them and how you can support them. Like, I feel like those are two totally different ways to talk behind people's back because sometimes there can be a positive intention, other times it's just on meanness and like you were saying, Varnica, like total jealousy and they're unhappy. I think anytime someone is mean or they're like just nasty for no reason, it's usually because they're feeling that lack in themselves and whatever you're really good at in that way, and they like it's almost like it magnifies that for them and makes them uncomfortable, so their way of lashing out is like to talk about you, which is not the right way, as we know. But yeah.
I think the really difficult part about drama in general is that even after you think you've done like you've handled it maturely, I personally feel like some guilt almost,
Yeah.
because I'll apologize or I'll try to figure things out, but it just won't work. And it's like they have other ideas and it's like I feel guilty because I'm like, could I have done more? Could I have, you
Mhm.
know, handled it more peacefully? Almost like I don't know, there's like a phrase, protect your peace.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think that's really important,
Mhm.
especially in high school. It's like you're not going to be around these people after high school. You're going to go to college, and then even if you're not going to college, you have jobs. Like your career is going to expand more than just like somebody you see in like ninth grade. Like it's really not that big of a deal.
It's
And
true.
I think like we just get so wrapped up in like, oh my God, like I got into drama with this girl and I'm gonna see her at this club, or I'm gonna see her, she might be in my class. And I'm
Mhm.
like, if you see them at school, just avoid them. If they're
Yeah.
not bringing you joy, or if they're talking poorly about you behind your back, or just you're getting involved in a lot of drama with them, maybe they're if they're the common denominator, then you should probably go away from them, and you should, distance yourself from them. And I think you shouldn't have to feel guilty for prioritizing yourself and making sure that you're okay. And like, you should not have to feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think overcoming drama is mainly mentality almost. Like at first when people would say mean stuff about me, I'm like, why are they saying these stuff? Like, am I like the problem or like is there something wrong with me? But then like slowly I started realizing like they're like they keep on talking about you is because they keep on thinking about you. And I'm like, wow, these people are actually thinking about me that much. Like they must be upset. And that's like where it kind of made me feel better almost like whenever like my friend would be like, oh my god, she was talking smack about you, she was saying this about you. I'm like, thanks, like like they're talking about me. So like
Yeah.
honestly like they're just like they can't say it to your face, then they're not worth your time at the end of the day. That's all.
Yeah, and I feel like you start to get red flags about that. Like I have a friend even as an adult and it's like they're starting to talk about people and in my life I've had friends like that and it's like, wait a minute, this feels off. And yeah, so it's usually a clue that there's
Yeah.
something off about it.
Mhm.
And like you're saying, "Oh, good, they're they're obsessed with me." Like
Yeah.
that means I'm doing something right, because it's like you're being you and that's threatening for some people.
Mhm.
Any last advice or like insight about I feel like parents are super freaked out about social media and high school students and like phones. I feel like that is such like a fear of parents of like, well, what if it or runs their life or ruins their life or what if they're not able to have conversations with people or what if whatever. What if they see something on social media that's, I don't know what, but it just seems like anytime I talk with people about, I'm like, yeah, I have an organization for girls and we support girls in this way. And they're like, what about social media? What do they say? And I'm like, that doesn't really come up that much. Like, and these are little girls, obviously, but and you're older, but do you feel like it plays a big role in your life and like affects your mood or like,
Yeah,
do you
I
feel like
think like
playing for you? Like people are like they're obsessed with it, like they have to have it. And I know my son like uses Snapchat and things like that. It's more of a connection thing for him, I think. But I don't know. What is it like for you, like as girls in high school for your phones and social media and things?
I feel like a lot of girls and guys at that like have social medias if it's like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yeah.
And like if you don't have it, like trust me, you're not like missing out or anything.
Mhm.
But I will say that like in my experience, I feel like social media has its ups and downs, but mainly I learned so much from it, like a lot of positives. Like I feel like even if it came to education, I know like I would see TikToks of people saying like, "Oh, this class is good for this and here are some study tips." And even like I was saying like mentality when it comes to gossiping, there will be like TikToks like just telling like how to like feel, what to think about that. And I think it's like a nice platform for creativity and just expressing how you feel because there is like a sense of community in there. Like you'll see so many people like having the same interests as you, and it's like, oh wow, they like that too, that's cool. So
Mhm.
honestly I think social media does has its ups and downs, but I feel like a lot of parents need to realize there are lots of positives, and I feel like it has helped me so much like with everything in life.
I
Yeah.
think for me personally, it hasn't helped as much. And I think it's just because it has an effect on self-esteem a lot. And it's like a lot of the people that you see on there might be like, it's like social media models or just like influencers, and you start to think, oh, like I need to be like them, or I need to get like the products that they use, or I need to, like change my figure and like look different to be better or something. And I think that's just a very poor way of looking at social media. And I think if you're using it for that purpose, it's not helping you and you need to get rid of it. I
Mhm.
think social media is only good if you have like as Veronica mentioned, the mentality to use it. If
Yeah.
you are able to, like take the good from it and remove the bad, then you can use it. If the bad is hurting you and you're recognizing that, you need to get rid of it. Like there's no I don't think there's a way for you to like use it in a good way if you see that it's affecting you, because it's not just honestly it's not just like Instagram models, like honestly just your friends, like your peers. They might go on vacation somewhere and post like some pictures, and you all of a sudden want to like you're like you feel like you're missing out. You're like, oh, I'm not doing these things,
Yeah.
I'm not there. And I
Mhm.
think that's the negative side of it. Definitely like for clubs and stuff, like it's good to be there, it's good to like be like part of those communities. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, well, are you spending the time on it for good? And also, how much time are you spending on it? Like, if you're spending hours on like just Instagram or like TikTok just scrolling, it's not helping you out. So setting that time, being very strict with your use of it, I think is
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. I feel like I also like used to like doom scroll on TikTok or something. But what like really helped me was like I would like tell myself, I'm like, what was like the last TikTok you saw? You can't remember, but the last thing you studied, you remember, or the last thing you talked about with your friends, you remember. So I feel like just like telling yourself, like, at the end of the day, you're not going to get anything by like scrolling through social media. Like, you might like get some stuff, but like, do you remember it? What beneficial things, like the big beneficial things, will you get from it? So like just like telling that to yourself helps, and maybe like focusing that more on like calling your friends or like studying. And
Yeah.
that like I said, like it's the mentality. Like if you have a good mentality, I think using social media should be a breeze. But if
Yeah.
you still have like some insecurities, I think you should work on that first and then like then go with it, honestly.
Yeah, because I think it's also what you follow. Because same thing,
Yeah.
like I could follow models, like perfect moms who look a certain way or this and that. Same thing with all of us. But it's like when you follow positive accounts or when you follow things that are, like you were saying, like study tips and like, do this, that there is a lot of good. And once you start teaching the algorithm almost like what you're looking for, then you see those more of those things. But if you are doom scrolling, like you were saying, then I've done it too. I'm like, what have I done in the last hour? Like I'm literally watching
Yeah.
choreography videos, like because I follow a lot of dancers, and that brings me joy. Like I love watching choreography and things like that. But I'm like, I've been watching choreography for 2 hours. Like that
Uh-huh.
is, I mean, am I really going to do this dance? Like
Uh-huh.
like they're professional dancers or whatever, but it's like, you also, yeah, it's just what I hear both of you saying is being aware of it and how it's making you feel. And I think at your age, especially if you're aware of that and just catching yourself when you doom scroll, because everybody's done it and you're like 3 hours later, like you were saying, Varnica, like I don't even know what did I even see? And like catching that and being like, okay, how could I use my time better? Maybe I'll go call my friend or I'll go do this other thing. And so I think it's because I think a lot of times with parents, they just want to take everything away and be like, we just need to get rid of it. And it's like, well, it was kind of like that back in my day with TV. It's like, the same thing. You just have to figure out your limits and figure out like your quality of life and how you're using those things. So I think having those conversations with even asking you, like, what are you watching or things like that? Like, what's a cool video you've seen lately? I think a parent asking you that, not that they're going to be all up in your phone the whole time, but it's like a good learning to find out like what are the things that you're seeing, and is it models who have a certain figure, or is it like, things that are not making you feel good, or is it something that's actually really helpful, like teaching you something? So and whether I watch a lot of art videos, like for things that we do at camp or just like cool things that people do or like positive news. But yeah, I think it's valid what you're both saying. And I think it's super helpful for parents listening to know what you think about it. So thank you for your honesty about that and being open. Any last words of advice or anything that you think parents, or even if a girl's listening in high school, would need to hear as we wrap up?
I would just say, honestly, like overall, going into high school can be very overwhelming. And I think making sure to, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, while also having time for yourself to like wind down, decompress is really important. And not letting your goals overcome you is also very important, especially if you're like an overachiever. Like it's okay to take a break. It's okay to calm down and just like do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And also just make sure to like keep those things that you like to do throughout high school. Don't let the work, stop you from painting or reading books or
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say,
I
Vernon?
feel like what I would say is like don't like hide stuff from you that that define you almost. Like I remember going into high school, like I would be like, I don't watch that show or I don't read that book. That's so weird because that's what other people thought too. But in reality, I loved that show and I loved those books.
Mhm.
So then I like kind of started realizing that like I should just get into it because this is what makes me happier. And I met with like more friends, almost more people like me because I was more authentic. So I think just be your authentic and yourself. Like just because like these two girls don't like it doesn't mean you have to dumb yourself down. Like be who you are and you will find so much more happiness in that. Trust
Mhm.
me. And also like especially if you're like up and coming, I feel like join as much clubs as possible. Like just not like too much where it's overwhelming you, but like if you find something interesting, like let's say like you like crocheting, join the crochet club, or if you like making music, join like music club or something like that. So
Mhm.
like you want to like explore a lot, especially because freshman year there isn't too much pressure on you, especially with grades and all this stuff. So I think use that time to like just see what you like and everything.
Yeah, and not being afraid to try. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
showing up in the room, and even if you feel a little bit shy or embarrassed of like, I don't even know anyone, or I don't know if I'll like this club, even if you show up for a club or an activity and you're like, nope, this wasn't for me. Like, and not that you should give up for one time, but maybe you try it a few times because sometimes the first time it can just feel a little awkward because you're just joining something. But like you try it for a few times, you're like, okay, yeah, this is for me. Like these are my people, or these are people I'd like to get to know, or these are not. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. With like knowing, like you were saying, finding your things and also being open to trying new things even at your age. Whether, we talked about that with the girls at camp. It was like helping them try new things. And then as you're getting older, I hear you saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This was so amazing that you shared all of this insight. I know there are so many parents and caregivers of girls that are going to find this so useful. And if you found this helpful, I think this would be a great episode for you to send to your daughter, or even if you could listen to it together and have conversations about, what Vaishu and Varnika shared is like, do you agree with that? Like, do you feel that way too? Or, use what the girls are saying as a conversation starter and see what they say. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
And,
for having us.
and you're the most amazing volunteers. I love having you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, thank you. And for all the parents and caregivers, thank you for listening. And the biggest compliment is if you can share this, like I said, with your daughter, with the girls in your life, or with another parent that it could help. And we'll see you next week.
Yes. Bye.
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 Thanks for joining another empowering episode of the Raising Confident Girls podcast. Share today's insights with caregivers and friends, building beautiful relationships with strong girls. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're not just a podcast, we're a community. Follow Girls Positivity Club on social media for more empowering content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This podcast empowers you, supporting incredible girls. Let's create strong, beautiful relationships with the girls in our lives. I appreciate you listening today. Stay confident, stay connected. Until next time, keep raising those confident girls. You've got this.